Have you ever been so curious that you wanted to know how the world works, but everybody just tells you that you are just being too much and you ask for too much, and that is kind of a mental disease? Then that's it for you because I know a person just like you, Thomas Edison. People often call me a genius, but if you want the truth, I have always felt more like a professional finder. I didn't just sit around waiting for ideas to fall from the sky, I went out and hunted them down. Here is how I remember it. I wasn't exactly a star pupil. In 1854, my schoolmaster in Michigan told my mother I was adult. Basically, he thought my brain was scrambled because I couldn't stop asking questions. My mother, Nancy, was a saint. She pulled me out of the school and taught me herself. She didn't just teach me facts, she taught me how to read and, more importantly, how to experiment. By the time I was a teenager, I had a laboratory in basement and a job selling newspaper on the Grand Trunk Railroad. When a train car caught fire because of the phosphorus experiment, they kicked me off, but I don't mind. I had a printing press and a thirst for more. Success didn't happen overnight. I spent years working as a telegraph operator, wandering from city to city. I loved to click clack of the machine. It was a language I understood perfectly, despite my growing deafness. Eventually, I made enough money from my improvements to the stock ticketer to set up my invention factory in Menlo Park, New York, Jersey. This was my pride and joy. I wanted a place where we could turn out a new minor invention every 10 days and a big winner every 6 months. The first time I heard my own voice, thin and thinny, reciting Mary Had a Little Lamb back to me from a piece of tin foil, I was actually startled. I hadn't expected it to work so perfectly on the first try. That was the moment the world started calling me a wizard. The light bulb, a lesson in a failure. The project that nearly broke me was the incandescent light bulb. People think the light bulb was a certain movement. It wasn't. It was a long, rolling sage. My team and I tested over 6,000 different materials to find a filament that wouldn't burn out in seconds. We tried. Platinum, too expensive. Human hair didn't work. Even beard saving from one of my assistants. Finally, we tried a piece of carbonized cotton thread. On October 22, 1879, that little thread stayed late for over 13 hours. I knew that we had captured the sun in a bottle. I didn't see those 6,000 failure attempts as mistakes. I saw them as 6,000 ways that didn't work, which brought me 6,000 steps closer to that what I did. If I have any legacy to leave you, it's this. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% preparation. I never cared much for the math or the abstract theories. I cared about things that worked, things that changed how people lived, worked, and saw the world after the sun went down. I worked until my eyes burned and my hands were stained with chemicals because the world is full of problems just waiting for a practical solution. I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 more ways that won't work.